My name is Ann, no E, Newdigate, and I work in various media. I think everything that I do is drawing, even in this very exacting tapestry or with the computer. I draw. It's all drawing to me. I have to say that I have been like 3 different people. I was born in South Africa, a colonial brat. Then I changed from being a brat. I grew up. I met more people with the attitude which made me aware of how wrong apartheid was. And I did a degree in African studies, learned also and so on and so on. So still I was not working as an artist. The apartheid situation was so awful I thought it would be sort of frivolous to be a drawing and that kind of thing. And then I worked for this political party that hoped to overthrow the government. I did various things that were seen as a problem by my family. Being on first name terms with the security police was one of them. Having them hammering on your door in the middle of the night was another. And then I got married, had a son, we came to Saskatoon, and we thought, oh, this is the back of the moon. And in fact, it was a very productive place to be because there was a lot of activity in the arts, and I got very sick, and I realized that, damn it, I want to be an artist before I, pop off. I got in the lineup when registration was taking place, and I waited till I got to the table where Otto Rogers said to me, well, you can't because it's full. That was the first time I got a bit assertive. And I said, well, you've got to let me in. I'm doing this and that, and this is what I plan to do now. And then Stan Day, the other guy, the colorist, said, Otto, she's the kind of artist we've wanted to attract. And Otto said to me, oh, okay. But you better be good because you're putting a younger person out. And I was 31 when he said it. So I was let into the basic course and completed the degree and started to make tapestry because I went to a place called Fort Capel, which is in Saskatchewan. And there was a lot of activity around Navajo tapestry. And that made me think, this does stuff that painting tries to do, but much better. And then I taught myself and eventually was accepted at the Edinburgh College of Art, which was the place where it was very seriously studied. And then until I came to Canada and was not involved with anti-apartheid activities, I realized that art is important within issues. I was doing what I thought was interesting for me, and so it was more innovative than I had realized. My productive life was when I started to become an artist in Saskatchewan, and that's where I achieved many wonderful things. And then I've come here where I'm aging and I don't achieve as many wonderful things. It's not something that I have done lightly. It dominates my life, even though I'm not as active as I was. It was enormously satisfying for me making this commitment, which is basically a commitment to devote your life to art. And that's what I think you need to do to get real satisfaction from it. John, my husband, was very supportive, and I was able to have him be with the kids, and that made a huge difference. When somebody phones to say, could you bake a cake or come and do something? No, I've got a deadline. and it doesn't please people because it's seen as being self-indulgent and all that. But it is necessary, and particularly necessary for women who get asked to do a lot of volunteering, and that is what that amounted to. You don't feel very good when you refuse to, say, volunteer to do something. You think, maybe I am being very selfish, very self-centered. So the commitment is to persuade something inside oneself that what you're doing is worthwhile, particularly if it's not being encouraged or supported. There is no doubt, for instance, that commercial galleries in particular can more easily sell a work by a man. There is a bias towards gender. The person's work is what counts, and you don't change your opinion because of their gender. Why I make art is a puzzle to myself, because despite not having much encouragement as a child through school or any of those situations, I have always drawn, but I also think that it's wired in me. As a child, it's colours that I remember a lot. And it was just part of what I did. When I'm in my studio alone and got good paper and the right colours, and I have a lot of drawing instruments around me, I don't feel much emotion except peace. A greater peace and a greater sense that what I'm doing is important and relevant, regardless of if other people may think that or not think that or do think that. But it's a good feeling. It's a puzzle to me about where one's creativity comes from. I do not know, but one thing I do understand is that if I am going to work, I need to be alone, I need to be able to think, I need to wait to see where it's going to go. I don't pre-plan because it's more to do with the spontaneity of listening and listening. When I'm making art, I think I have no choice in staying open and listening to what's inside. And I think that play is important. That it's often when one feels that one is a bit stuck and you think, oh, just let's grab the paint or the ink or the brush or whatever and play. And then sometimes, hopefully often, you think, oh, that's not bad. And that takes you out of something that you've been locked into. I have fairly recently done what I call a coffee book, which actually is done with coffee. And in the title it says, guaranteed to fade, which is very naughty because you're supposed to be making things that are going to last forever. So yeah, I feel a bit naughty, but on the other hand, I feel peace. So yes, I think play is very important. It's hard to talk about creativity when you've just turned 89. And so a lot of one's time is taken up with other things such as body maintenance and, all that kind of thing. But yet it's there, so I continue to feel the creativity, and why I do it, I don't know. It's what I do. It's something to do with leaving the rational behind. When I'm in the process, I lose time, and it's not something I'm conscious about. And then, yes, I stopped doing the dishes and other things. And I don't feel guilty. Guilt's not a good thing, doesn't help. I'm happiest if I am making art. It generates contentment. And it also is frustrating if I'm not able to, for whatever reason. It gives my psyche satisfaction. Sometimes the psyche says, come on, you can do better than that. The word should hovers there. You should do this. You know, at your age, you should be doing that or this or whatever. But I'm hardened. I'm hardened to having should said to me. In fact, the older I get, the more I reject something that somebody says you should be doing this or you should be doing that. And I think that is quite a well-known fact, that older women, the older they get, the crabbier they get. They say things and do things that they should not. For one thing, when I'm not feeling well, I learn not to beat myself up if I put my feet up. And so now we get to my aging, and it's challenging because my mood changes quite a bit. And I will find myself thinking, oh, I'm too old to do that. Or thinking, come on, you can do it. I saw something on Facebook which said, I don't usually read those little bon mots, but it said, you are never too old to be anything you want to be, except young again. And I thought, well, okay, that was good. What is good for one, I think, is to generally feel in life that one tried. The question of connecting via one's artwork and things that resonate more universally are integral to the art-making creative process. But I don't think that I like to set out to do that. If it happens, it happens. I'm creating for whatever is inside that comes out.